Hello world, this is Derrick Turner from Business Tutoring at Business and Beyond on Facebook. That's BIZ. Okay, let's get into it. Today I want to talk about communication. Now, if any of you guys take my course, we're going to have to communicate. We're going to have to communicate, expect to have homework that's going to involve you to communicate with me and whomever's in the class, okay? If this is one-on-one, it's going to be communicate with me, because the reason why I say that, because you got to understand this business ethics thing, because you can easily get caught up into what other people think is the right thing to do, is better for your business, it's how they see things and all that. It's an individual thing, right? Now, I don't particularly like Kevin O'Leary, Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, but in business, he always says it's about the money. Color is green. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only color is green, right? But let's get beyond the only color is green, right? Because you want to have everybody coming in your door. Everybody coming in your door. Then you can worry about the color being green, because it's all coming. It's all coming. But let's treat people fairly. Let's just treat people fairly first, and then we can get to the only color is green, right? Now, when you look around the world, right, you hear Americans say, well, it's the number one country in the world, blah, 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 right? But then you hear other people say the same thing, right, about their country, right? Well, let's simplify that. I'm from Pittsburgh. Is nobody better than the Pittsburgh Steelers? You hear me? None. We got 6 rings. I'll talk about it, and it's nobody better. Forget New England Patriots and all that garbage, right? But am I biased to the Steelers? Because I grew up in Pittsburgh? Maybe so. Is it the best city in the world? You better believe it. But am I biased to this? Probably so. Probably so, because there's a lot of bad in Pittsburgh as well. You understand what I'm saying? So just think about it. So if I live in Asia, you better believe I think Asia is the number one country in the world. America can't tie our shoes. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in India, I feel the same way. Now, I might look over somewhere and say, well, oh, they have some things that I might like. They can offer us. Okay, our country. We'll look at it the same way. Business ethics, because someone is different, or someone that you don't understand, do you shun that person? And this is what brought me to teaching this course, because you got to understand, when people walk in your door, you don't know. It's game on. It's game on, but you cannot treat people any old kind of way. Your business can go up 10 to 20% overnight if you learn how to treat people proper, ethically. Okay? So when you think about doing international business, okay, and you don't know how to communicate, okay, and I mean communication, business to business. You don't know how to communicate. How are you going to communicate in Japan? How are you going to communicate in Italy? How are you going to communicate just in America when you can't get past your own fears, your own misunderstandings, your own whatever your hang up is? You got to be able to communicate. Now, let's say I go to Japan, okay? What gifts do I offer? How do I even present a gift? How do I know what words and gestures may offend them? You understand what I'm saying? If you go into someone's community and you only support and you treat them bad, then how can your business grow? Okay? Or how will you ever see the good in the people if you're always treating them bad? Okay? You can't do that. Now, when you look at America, and I'm an American, when I look at America on a map, I say, wow, America's very small. It's very small, right? Now you go look at Canada, right? You look at Asia, you look at Africa, you look at Russia. Whew. I mean, these places are no joke. I mean, huge, right? So when you think about it, you say, well, if there's so much world out there, why am I pigeonholing myself to these fake ideologies of what someone told me or what I thought up in my head, when I never even sat down with someone to really try to get to know them or communicate with them? Okay? That's key. That is key in business. You got to be able to communicate, And I don't like to use cultures, races, and stuff like that. I like to just talk as a whole, but for the sake of this video, I will. I had a friend, and they did taxes here in America. They're Vietnamese. Well, prior to doing taxes, they had $1 million business. I'm talking cash. I ain't talking credit. I'm talking cash on hand, not debt. Cash on hand. $1 million. $1 million business, okay? Well, the business crashed. He had all the it was him and his wife. They had all the courts and all the board of educations, and they ran the entire system. Okay, the wide area network. They ran it all, the WAN, right? They decided, you know what, we're going federal. We don't need no independent contractors, because he couldn't communicate, or he felt that, well, no, I'm not so sure if I want to talk to these people. I'm not so sure if I want to talk to someone that's less than me. You know, you can't be like that. And his business crashed. They doing taxes right now, but I think now he ended up going back to work. He's making something like maybe $8 an hour, and he quit. His wife now goes to work. He's at home trying to build the business back up, but it's almost too late for him. He done got old. He don't have the energy anymore. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And there's other situations where I live, I have every culture in the world, okay? But see, I learned how to be around people. I learned how to be around people from working. Where I grew up was a lot of black people, and then when we moved to the other side of town, it was Italian, Polish, Jewish. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the people I went to school with every day, so I interacted all the time. When I went to the nursing field, it was 98% Filipino, 2% other. So this is my life. Now, understand, I was in the nursing field for almost 20 years. So I know these people very well, right? Now, my neighborhood is about 90% Middle Eastern, okay? 90% Middle Eastern, Asian, Russian, see what I'm saying? So you have to be able to communicate. Sometimes I run into people and they just, we don't see eye to eye, but, you know, once they get to know me and my family, and they see that, you know, we're not here, we're not a threat or nothing like that, then they calm down, then they bring it down a little bit. But the initial contact is always an issue, and in your business you can't be like that. You can't be like that. Now let's think about the Shark Tank, right? Let's think about Shark Tank. Look, Kevin O'Leary, crazy, but think about him. If I'm not mistaken, that company, Shark Tank, started in Canada. I used to watch it. You can look it up on YouTube. Okay? Who's that? Barbara Cochran. How the hell did Barbara get from a waitress? Now understand, no matter the education level, how did she get from a waitress to a billionaire? I mean, she is insane. Hell, I would go to Barbara if I knew how to sell tissue, because she can sell it. If I had a good tissue I manufactured and it had a whole bunch of colors, I'll say, hey, Barbara, check it out. Because she got the game. But she can communicate very well. Very well. Who else? I think it's Horsevek. Look, his father came here. He was an immigrant, right? They had nothing, right? Shirt on their back, boom. But he had to learn how to communicate. It wasn't always the colors green. It wasn't always that. He had to learn how to communicate first, before you got to the green color, right? Damon Dash, brother, fresh out the hood. What's that? Brooklyn, fresh out the hood, or Harlem. See what I'm saying? Had nothing. Sewing up t-shirts and whatnot. Got with LL Cool J. Put a face to it. Boom. 6.6 billion in Japan. 6.6 billion. You understand what I'm saying? Carl Kanai. He left America because he wasn't making it here. Probably, and I could almost bet, I'm just going to say allegedly, that it was a lack of communication. It was a lack of communication with probably some of these manufacturers and suppliers here in America. I can almost bet that. That was a sidebar. What's her name? I can't even think of the woman's name right now. The other lady on Shark Tank, the one, QVC, she be killing it. Do you see her portfolio? It is insane. Okay? So people, just think about it. And we don't even have to talk about Mark Cuban. Forget about it. You know what I mean? Forget about it. So all I'm saying is, we got to learn how to communicate business to business. Okay? Talk to you guys later. This is Derrick Turner, Business is Business Tutoring at Business and Beyond. That's BIZ. Talk to you guys later. Please subscribe.